apparently the Bulls and the Lions are locked in negotiations the Bulls and the Lions, the Pistons and the Lions, the Pistons and the Bulls are locked in negotiations, trying to make a deal for Zach LaVine. Let's talk about it. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. The subscribe button is the bell icon button. Now, Brian Windhorst said that Chicago wouldn't mind getting rid of Zach LaVine, and Zach LaVine wouldn't mind being on the first plane straight out of Chicago. Okay, so the feeling is mutual. Zach LaVine, one of my 5 favorite players in the league. Damian Lillard, if you're wondering, is Damian Lillard, Anthony Edwards, Jokic, Zach LaVine, and I don't know who would be my 5th. I'm starting to really like Jalen Brunson a lot as well, too. I'm starting to really like Jalen Brunson a lot, too. But, hey, man, it's either Brunson / Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, because that boy a dog. Don't forget, we could have had Shai Gilgeous had we traded the #1 overall pick we had with Cade Cunningham. But, hey, at the end of the day, they games, totally 2 different games, 2 different teams. The Thunder, Sam Presti is drafted immaculate there. But, nonetheless, so, you know, they looking to get rid of Zach LaVine. I like the LaVine fit better than the DeJounte Murray fit in certain aspects. I like DeJounte Murray more of a being able to guard guys. He can guard better than Zach LaVine, but also Zach LaVine is a certified bucket getter. And I think Zach LaVine, if he committed to the defensive side of the floor, he'd be a more complete player, and I think Chicago will win more ball games. And obviously, he's a better shooter. Then he dropped like 40 or 50 on us earlier this season, but nonetheless, that's one of the few games that we did end up winning somehow, some way. We gonna make it. But, you know, the Bulls are asking for Bojanovic, was no problem. But then they want one of Cade Cunningham, either Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, Jalen Duren, or Ashur Thompson. So they want one of the untouchables, and that's being a problem. So I don't know if they can figure a pick out or whatever, but really it ain't no rush to get it done, because for the most part, they can keep fielding offers for Zach LaVine and see what they can get. He's still under contract for the next few years too. So, I mean, if they want to get rid of him, they can get a better offer than what the Pistons offering, then so be it. But for the most part, I think, you know, Jaden Ivey wouldn't mind being on the first thing up out of here and not playing for Monty Williams. You got to remember, Monty Williams didn't pick none of these players. You know, he might have had a small say-so in the drafting process because he had just got here, but he ain't picked none of them. So at the end of the day, the Pistons are holding on to a young core, but eventually somebody gonna have to go. You know what I'm saying? Unless some of these dudes learn to shoot the ball better. So at the end of the day, you know, if Jaden Ivey is not going to be utilized in the way that Jaden Ivey should be utilized, then my opinion is you need to move on from him. Don't forget, you still got Marcus Sasser on the bench. So, you know, I love to keep Jaden Ivey, but if Monty don't really see a fit for him, and Monty gonna be here, why poison the kid? You know what I'm saying? Why continue to poison him? So they like the fits that they got, but damn near. I mean, if you get Zach LaVine, where does Ivy fit at? Do y'all put Ivy in the backcourt with LaVine and move Cade to the 3 or something like that? That's what I'm kind of envisioning. Y'all holding on to guys that Monty really don't know how to use. Marcus Sasser had a good game, and then he go back and play a couple minutes. His method, man, before they acquire anybody and bring them into this demented triangle or this demented area they got known as Little Caesars Arena and the Pistons organization, I think one of the most major things they need to do is figure out who with them and who not with them. That's one of the things they need to figure out. In my humble opinion, they need to figure that out. Like, we need to get rid of guys that don't make sense for the organization. That's what I'm saying. They need to get rid of guys that don't make sense for the organization. And that's just as simple as that. They need to get rid of guys that don't make sense for the organization. And if Monty Williams is being poisoned to the organization, it's going to be hard to eat all that money. You know? Hey, Stewart, they got a lot of guys that's just hurting the organization. And it's hard to kind of blame Monty for just getting here because he didn't pick none of these guys and he was begged to take the job. And when you turn down the job and really don't want it and admit that you took it for the money, which everybody already knew that, he didn't have to admit that, people always going to point to that, to when you laugh on the bench, when you get blown up, when you only won 4 games in 45, 46 games, whatever it is, 42 games, people going to consistently tend to point that out. You know, they're going to consistently tend to point that out. So is it unfortunate? Absolutely. It's very unfortunate. But that's what it is. What it is. So you keep if you put clean water into a dirty container, what the clean water gonna turn into dirty water? I love Zach LaVine. Love to bring him to the Pistons. But right now, they just not equipped. They not stable enough, you know, to bring anybody in. They got to get rid of some guys. They got to change their thought. They got to get guys in here that Monty really want. You know? So that's just my train of thought. I don't mind the deal. I don't mind up giving up Short or Jay Knight to be in particular, because they don't, like, Monty don't fuck with them. And whatever that situation is, you know, it is what it is. And I tell you this, man, as a grown-ass man, you gonna go out your way to make sure nobody like you at all. As a person in power, you know, as a boss, a manager, a team leader, a CEO, you don't care who like you, who don't like you. All they care about is if you get the job done. You heard me? That's all they care about. No matter if you go out there and you try to please everybody. You hear me? You go out there and you try to please literally everybody. You know? And what happens? You end up pleasing nobody. You always end up making somebody mad. You know? And I say that's the train of thought. Use that train of thought when you're dealing with women. If your purpose is to make sure the woman that you with is happy, that's bullshit. It's impossible. Don't do it. Make sure you good. Make sure you happy. Listen to me. You can't make no woman happy. Not all the time. So make sure you good. Make sure you put yourself first. And the only person that should really be coming before you on a consistent basis is your kids. If you got kids. You ain't got no kids, should nobody be coming before you on a consistent basis. Listen to your boy. Make sure you do for you. People get lost in the sauce in that fact, man. Men are naturally, you know, givers, but shit, at some point, you know, we gotta be receivers. Pause. But that's all I got, man. But I wouldn't mind seeing Zach LaVine in the Pistons uniform. I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind. So that's what that's what they want to do. Shit, hey, so be it. But you know, you better make sure he Monty approved. That's what I say. You better make sure dog Monty approved. Because if he ain't, you know, Monty is sabotaging nigga. And you know, y'all was telling me that it was reports that there's reports that people didn't like Monty. You know, in New Orleans and all that, he wasn't really a likable guy. You know, that he had issues with guys, and you know, everywhere he tended to be successful, Chris Paul tended to be there. Maybe that's a move they need to make as well too. And I said that in the past. But hey, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. The subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance, get notifications. We go live and drop video. Financially, want to support the channel. Cash App, $CJ Good 313. Venmo, CJ Good 313. PayPal link in description. Appreciate the love and support. Peace.